Pastor David here, just outside of Kampala, Uganda. And you're going to hear noise all around me because I'm at the Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and they're getting ready for lunch. I've been sampling their food for the last few days, and believe me, you ought to come here and try some things out. You've heard my devotionals through the last year, and you know that I oftentimes have a sports theme, and I love sports, and you may be thinking, hey, that was cute, but I don't get into sports, don't connect with sports. Or you've seen, especially my fishing videos, and you say, that was creative, but I don't get fishing. Well, I bet you today I'm gonna reach into a different set of those of you who go to Cornerstone. Perhaps you like baking. Today we're going to talk about baking, and we're going to connect that to a Bible principle. Even if you don't get into baking, you might get into eating sweets, and you might find this very interesting. Now, what I have here is a piece of cake, and you can see it. This stuff is good stuff. But before you get that cake, you actually have a number of ingredients that are found in this cake. In this particular item right here, we have flour. Now here's just a pinch of flour. Excuse me, I breathed it in. The flour by itself is not real good, and then I've got some baking powder. I'm telling you. Ooh, let me top that off with some butter. Butter doesn't do it for me either. Now sugar, we might like sugar by itself. And then this right here, it's got an egg in it. I prefer mine cooked. It's got a little bit of orange in it too. Well, I don't like that either. See, these are just all ingredients. Individually, they're not really appetizing. Well, let's think about what we are in the body of Christ. We all have a part to play in the body of Christ. And we may consider ourselves baking powder that's not very interesting in and of itself. An orange, if I peeled it, could be interesting and even delightful to eat. Sugar, if not too much, could be good by itself. But flour, it's really dry. I don't know anyone that walks around saying, what are you having for your snack? Flour, and they're stuffing it in their mouth. No, there are certain ingredients that in and of themselves just don't taste good. Listen to what 1 Corinthians 12 says. This is what I want us to meditate on today. And in verse 14 it says, for the body is not one member, but many. And so each individual ingredient, when you put them together into the body of Christ, each one are important. We don't feed off of one particular ingredient. We put them all together. Think about what it also says in verse 20. But now there are many members. And so there are all those ingredients, but there's only one body. And so when you think about baking and the fact that we get all of these ingredients that may not taste good individually, but we put them all together into this cake right here, and I'm telling you, I wish you were here right now and could join me in this, but see, that's baking powder and flour, and it's also some egg, some orange is in there, a little bit of sugar, and I'm telling you put all that together, and it's downright good. Individually, I didn't care for the ingredients. Put it all together, it's really pleasing in my mouth. I'm gonna follow this with a cup of coffee, and that's the way it is in the body of Christ. All of you are individual members, but together we are a body, and together we can be effective in this world, we can be impacting in this world, we can build one another up to maturity, and we can reach the world with the gospel. So think about yourself today. You are an ingredient in a larger entity, and together we can be effective until Jesus comes back to accomplish that which he's called us to. So my prayer for you today is play your part and make the church, that greater body, everything that it can be to the glory of God. May the Lord bless your day.